joined by Lion. Welcome.
Leon.
Leon, sorry.
It's okay.
Welcome to the show. So
Thank you.
probably tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm in the iGaming industry probably more than 10 years. Currently, I'm the commercial marketing director of 22Bet. Um, that's it, I think.
Amazing. So my question to you, what is your approach to developing a marketing strategy for new product or service?
So, it's a complicated question, but if you will take general steps in terms of developing the strategy, I would think that specifically in our sphere in iGaming, I think you must think cost effectively because there is a lot of ways to spend a lot of money, and there is a big difference between markets because I would say our toughest challenge in this industry is regulations in different markets, and because it's changing so fast, so rapidly, especially in Europe and in other markets as well, everybody look for the golden market to go to. So I would say you need to first of all think cost effectively, even if you have big campaigns, and secondly pinpoint the markets you want and research them very well before you go in, because I heard so many cases when people just going to markets because they're booming or because there is good potential there, and not planning the strategy and not executing, and eventually they have a very bad experience. They waste a lot of money and they just say, "Okay, I'm giving up." And the people that stay longer and did the plan it right, they stay and they take the market on. So I think it's key.
Great. So how do you see the iGaming fitting into the large landscape of sports and entertainment?
Well, I think it's always been a big part of entertainment and sports because though iGaming is kind of a black market in a lot of places, I don't think it should be because people eventually always looking for places to enjoy, to have a good time, and if people enjoying having a good time, and there are regulations anyway, so I think it's type of entertainment, and I think it's inseparable from others. So
So my other question is, how do you ensure that marketing companies align with the overall business objectives?
okay, so I think that any business, especially in our niche, of course, is very dependent on the marketing, because you can have a shitty product, but if your marketing is good enough, you can see good results. So I think it's key. It's the thing that brings you sales, that brings you clients, that brings you the right people, if the message is right and correct to the right audience. So I think marketing is key, and if you do the marketing right, you can structure everything around it.
Uh, and what are the unique opportunities and challenges in the marketing iGaming compared to measures?
So I think because iGaming is, like I said, is a very entertaining and specific niche, and because it's restricted in a lot of areas, I think the number one challenge is the regulations, of course. But I think the second challenge is to create a stable way of working, because a lot of times you're very dependent on different payment solutions, on different customer journeys, and if you don't find a stable way to work, kind of create your own way, your own company, or your kind of own people that you can work with and trust, then you will have big problem, even if you have very good marketing.
And what do you think can be done to improve or create a solution in terms of regulations?
I don't think there is anything can be done, because like regulations are dependent on countries, on states, on their kind of personal belief. There are states that are more religious, that will be stricter with things, and there are places that are more liberal and open, which will be easier. But eventually, everybody wants money, so this is what it comes to. So regulation is basically a type of way to say, okay, I want a cut of the cake.
How are you able to prioritize marketing initiatives when working with a limited budget?
Well, like I mentioned in the beginning, I think this industry is very performance-based and cost-effective, and I think this is the right approach. Of course, if you have limited budget, you must really structure and prioritize things, and you need to understand exactly what you are doing at each stage. You need to have a very specific and I would say, a clear plan about what you will do. And if you have a plan, well, sometimes it's not working, but at least you did all you can do with the budget you have. So this is the thing: you need to be planned, and you need to work with the budget and to pinpoint the things that are important. If you're doing it right, of course, if the budget is correct to the market, because sometimes you can have the budget that doesn't fit, and then you can do whatever you want. But you need a budget that is based on something, based on benchmarks, based on the market needs, and then, yeah.
Planning is the solution.
Sorry?
Planning is the solution.
Exactly.
How do you ensure the marketing messages around iGaming are authentic and resonate with fans?
That's a good question. I think it's very hard to be authentic, especially in our industry. I think authentic is a bit big word, because being authentic when you do marketing, you need to have a unique product to be authentic. And when you open a new brand, you cannot be unique. But what you can be unique with is the customer journey and the experience you have. And in this way, you can be actually very authentic. Because, for example, if you have a market, let's say like Brazil, and you approach the right people, use the right faces in the market, you create your kind of, I would say, image in the market, then yes, I think the people will seem more authentic than our brands, because you use the right people, the kind of local names, local people because in markets like Brazil, the trust is very low in the beginning, for outsiders, for companies that are not local. So for them, the local faces, the local people are very important. So it's kind of this way.
Amazing. So as we conclude, what is one thing that actually stood out for you during the entire summit?
Well, the organization is wonderful. I've been in Sigma for many years and the conferences, so nothing that I never saw before with Sigma. Everything is planned and executed well. I think I like the overall kind of organization around all the events. They organize trips in the desert, and this thing actually is very nice, because you can take it for granted, but it's not.
I'm glad that you had fun, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
today.
very much.